Hello everybody, I hope you're well and I hope you have a great weekend ahead planned. So I thought I'd jump on quickly because obviously, as you may be aware, we have the new podcast channel that we have, which is on iTunes and on Spotify. And I thought I'd jump on quickly to go over a couple of things really. Currently in today's climate, business is tough, right? And anyone who says it's not tough is delusional, because it is tough. But a lot of companies want videos or are looking to produce content. Now, one of the big changes in the industry, I believe, at the moment, is that not one video or any one video is going to be enough. And what do I mean by that? Well, the thing is that if you produce one animated video or one commercial, whatever it might be, unless you sink money behind it afterwards, it's really not necessarily going to get anywhere or compete with all the noise of all the other things on social media. Now, at rjdm.com, we're a media production and technology business, and we produce TV commercials, and we've done many videos for companies of all shapes and sizes over the years. But what really is effective is a blended mix of content. Now, a blended mix of content, what do I mean by that? Well, lots of companies ask for a promotional video. They might ask us for a video and they'll say, I'd like it to be 2 minutes. But a video from us, and video in generally, is more than just that, isn't it? Because after about 40 seconds, 60% of your audience actually turn off. And that is a true fact. 60% of your audience normally turn off after about 40 seconds. And with social media being what it is now, you've probably got about 5 or 10 seconds to get somebody's attention. So when you think about what is the vision or the value or the purpose of the video you're trying to create, is it a brand awareness video? Is it a promotional video? Are you selling a product or service? What problem are you solving? One of the biggest things in videos now is, rather than just saying, hey, look at my product, it's brilliant, we're amazing, if you sell the problem you solve in the video, that will engage with your audience more. And one of the things with video as well, there's a thing called neuro-linguistic programming, which you may or may not be aware of. It's audio, visual and kinesthetic. So if I said, how many sweets are here? Bomb, 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 bomb. And someone who's a musician or audio registers the bomb, 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 bomb. The visual person sees the sweets, so they then count. And because you ask a question, they have to come back with an answer, and that's the kinesthetic part. So there's a lot of things to factor with video. And also, when you produce a video now, sorry about the noise, there's a humming, but when you produce a video now as well, you have to look at the different formats you might have. So is it going on social media? So for example, if it's going on Instagram, you could put it as an IGTV, and that can have about 15 minutes. If it's going on LinkedIn, you can only have a video up to 10 minutes. And obviously you might have a longer form piece if you're going on YouTube or podcasts. So when you're creating a video, what type of things do you need to include? Well, what I would say is, what are the 5 things you want your audience to remember when they watch the video? Okay, now that's an important one. I'll say that again. What are the 5 things you want your audience to remember when they watch your video? One of the things a lot of people do is they ask us as a company to produce a video for them, and they'll go, we want it 2 minutes, or we want it 5 minutes, and we want this length. And it's great, but actually people start putting all this information towards us, but so much information, your audience isn't going to take it all in. So it would be, what are the 5 things you want them to remember? And that starts formalizing the story and helps with the key visuals. So what we do is we take all that information, we take all the script, because you know your business, right? You understand your business, but we're coming from an unbiased view. So we'll take that information and then strip it down with our copywriters, our script writers, to then articulate it in a better offering. But you also want to sweat the asset of a video. In a market where it's saturated, everybody is a self-proclaimed expert, or there's lots of companies popping up to produce videos, and they might do it for £500 or the £300 or whatever it is. You've got to ask, why is it so cheap? And the reality is that it's worth spending that little bit more on a video, whether it be £1,500 or £5,000 or tens of thousands, whatever it might be, because of the extra bits that you get. So for example, at the end of the video, what would your call to action be? if you're producing a video for social media or whatever it might be, what is the call to action? Is it to visit your website? Is it to book a webinar? Is it to buy your product or service? So what could the call of action be? So for us, what we tend to do is when you're looking at video and content, stories are a great way. You know, what is your story? How could you articulate what it is you want to say in a story? And the reason why stories are really cool is because if I said to you, here we are, here's a PowerPoint, and you go through death by PowerPoint, or if I said, let me tell you a story. Once upon a people associate story time with bedtime, which means they naturally put their guards down and they want to listen, because when you're younger you read stories to your kids and then you just relax and you take it in, because people don't want to be sold to. And when you've got, hey, buy today, whatever the videos are, a story can actually bring your audience in and go on this journey. Now, with animation or film and content now, anything you can imagine is real. And so what sort of memory hooks or what little things could you put in the story to make it really cool? Now, I've wanted to be an animator. I started animation when I was 10 years old. I've had an animation company, a media company, for over 18 years. I'm 40 now, and I've been in the animation game and business for over 30 and worked for all sorts of brands and companies. But ultimately, one of the things here is the story. It all boils down to the story and the journey and what you want to get across in your video. And now, like we said, one video or one is not enough. You have to have a blended mix. You need a short form content, a 5-second piece, a 10-second piece, a 30-second piece, different calls of action that can you use, different formats, because now we've got portrait as well, right? So you've got to look at content to work in a portrait form. So in animation, we tend to, or film or production, we'll tend to do a storyboard, put all the information together with the script, start creating all the key visuals, and then bringing it to life and bringing the film to life. But one thing that's beautiful about animation, and I think in general this is something as grown-ups we all forget, adults really don't know huge amounts, or they know a lot, but I have a thing where I've done workshops all over the world, and if I ask a child, how does a spoon feel? A child might say to me, sad. I go, why do you feel sad? They go, because I'm the last spoon to be chosen from the last spoon to be chosen from the drawer. Now, that's amazing, because a child would say that to their innocence. You ask an adult the same question, and what they would say is cold. I don't know, metal, because you know that it's metal. You know, you forget your imagination and you're in a child. And this is the beauty of stories and animation or film. So what is your story? Where were you? Where are you now? What is the future? You know, so there's different stages. On stage, when you're talking on stage, they talk about anchors, and you position, taking people back in the past and into the future and so forth. But story frames and story arcs are very similar. You know, there's a beginning, a middle, and the end. Is there a journey? Is there a sense of adventure? What is it you're trying to say? So if you're saying, come with me. So you can see I'm passionate about this, and like I say, we produced, I couldn't tell you how many thousands of videos we've produced over the years, but lots of people say, I'd really like an animation, or I'd really like a film. It's an explainer video for my website, and I'd like it to be 2 minutes. 2 minutes is like, why does it need to be 2 minutes? Could it be 30 seconds? Could it be 40 seconds? Less is more, right? Now, you're going to watch this video and this is probably going to be quite long, or it'll go out in the podcast, and you go, oh, well, this is quite a long, but this is like more of a long form piece. Some people might be listening to this in the car. And I would talk before on how brands and how animation and film has changed brand engagement. So here's the thing with brand engagement. Just by association now, I don't know if you'll be familiar with, and you probably are, the Coca-Cola polar bears. Okay, and that was a film done, directed I believe by Ridley Scott, and the whole film was sponsored. It was a film by Coca-Cola of these bears, and it was a massive viral success, because what it was really about was family and standing by each other as a family together as a unit. Watch it, check it out, it's near Christmas time. Watch it, it's a brilliant film, and what that's doing is, it's not about the product, it's not about drinking Coca-Cola, it's not about any of those things, it's about the family unit and sticking together, and it's a feel-good film that gets pushed and reached out to huge hundreds of millions of views, and very, very successful film. So with social media being what it is now, And with all this noise, what is your business's story? What could it be? And if you was to summarize your business or have the perfect customer in front of you, what would you say? What problem do you solve? You know, so maybe when you're producing that video, rather than going, hey, look at my product, it's really cool, it's amazing, buy today, you could go, have you ever? And so it's like the pain aware side of things. It might be, I mean, oh dear, I just couldn't think, but TV commercials and things like that now, they're not as popular as what is content for social media. So a lot of the TV commercials that we used to do, and we still do them today, are actually being used as short form videos for social media. So anyway, I mean, I'm jumping on just to sort of say hi and just to talk about and get you to think about, if you're producing a video for your business, what is your story? What are the 5 things you want your audience to remember? And what problem do you solve with whatever it is that you do? Okay, we're in the animation, media and tech business. There's lots of animation companies out there that are really cool. We've got experience. We're not the cheapest and we know we're not the most expensive, but we are probably the safest, and we've been around for quite a long time. So if you are interested in an animation or a film or a project and would like us to help you, then we can do that. One of the big things that we do is also help teams and digital teams grow, because we have a media company, but it's looking at what is your blended mix as well. What does success look like? If you have a video for your website, what does that look like? What does success look like on that video? Is it a number of people buy, or is it awareness, or could you have a call to action that could be changed against different channels? Is it going to be going out on all of the channels? What is the story arc for it? What do you want me to remember? And if I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, you'll think of a pink elephant. So I would say that the thing is what's the story? It all starts with the story and then the key visuals, and less is more. And I'm not just saying that, less is more when you're creating content. So you now need, when you're producing content and you do an animation, one video or one film isn't enough. You have to do this type of video, interview types of videos. You need to open up your world and let everybody see it. So it's like, before I think they would say now best known product beats best product, right? And to be known, you have to produce lots of content, and it's not the same content. You can just rework it. But what is the video? You've got trust, need, help, hurry. Why would people trust you? What does your customer need? You know, how are you going to help them with the product or service that you have? And hurry, you know, how quickly can you do it? So there's a number of things to consider when you're making a video. Like I say, I jumped on quite quickly because I'm just going to push this out as a podcast, because I get asked so many times, I'd like a 2-minute video, 3-minute video. Excellent, awesome, totally get that. What do you want your audience to remember when they watch it? Give too much information and nothing will stick. So for me, if I was to summarize this, what are the 5 things you want your audience to remember? What's the story? What problem do you solve with your product or your service? And how could that be articulated into a story or a series of visuals? And where NLP comes into play, and because people are now obviously reading subtitles or watching the video, does your video look good without sound? Does it look good or sound? Does it just sound good without visual? Or could I get your film if it was in silence? So iconography, we also, one other thing, we do a lot of things in multi-languages. We do it in languages of probably about 80 different languages we've done over the years. If you're doing a film that's to be multilingual, then iconography is a really good route forward. And why iconography is so good is because then you don't have to translate all the words, you can just translate the narration for the story. Anyway, have an awesome evening, weekend with your families, and I will catch up with you soon with some top tips on video and various other things. Have a great one and take care.